Hello guys, the DB Grinder here, back at it again with another video, and yesterday I asked in the community tab for everybody to send me deck list post Phantom Nightmare for me to do a deck doctor over, and I'm going to be going over every single list that was sent to me, so let's go ahead and hop right in with the first one. There's a lot of lists in this, so it might be a long video. We have a voiceless voice deck playing 3 Ash, 3 Nib, 3 Super Poly, 3 Imperm, 2 Talons, so 14, 15-ish non-engine. Does play 1-for-1 in the deck, which I don't think that's really necessary. I think I would probably cut this card. I probably, honestly, I don't know. Sarv is a little bit weird. I feel like I would probably main deck Pendulum Graph Dragon. This card does give you, like, the spell negate, so you can build a better end board. There's also certain times where you're just, like, searching a blank card. You could search this, and then scale it, end phase, use its effect, go search a ritual spell. Or you could just, like, blank search low for follow-up, depending on what you have. Does play the Diviner package. And then side decks, Phantasme, Bell, the Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph, Cosmic, Harpies, Lightning Storm, and Summon Limit. So we don't see something like Duel and Lockbird anywhere in the list. We don't see Veiler anywhere in the list. Veiler is like a super generic card that can go up against like tons of different decks. And there's also a lot of Snake Eye decks right now. Like, you know, the Snake Eye Fire King, Snake Eye. Like, those two decks are like the most like played decks by far. Like, we saw YCS Costa Rica was like 80% of top cut. Obviously, like, you know, in Swiss, it was going to be a little bit different than that, but top cut, it was like 80%. So I feel like you should be trying to build your deck kind of for that stuff. So I feel like I'd probably want to play Veiler somewhere. Maybe more Floodgates going first. Maybe a little bit less back removal. Plays like all the Super Poly targets. The Earth Golem card's really cool. This deck can play a lot of Super Poly targets, so this deck can actually afford to play, you know, the Earth Golem. We have Entus for Diviner, Herald for Diviner, the Excel Baron, and then we have Chaos Angel for the TRS. Low play, Sky Crisis, 2 Dynamondo, 1 SP. I feel like that's good. I feel like the 2 Dynamondo is probably going to become more and more standard. I feel like I said this a couple times in the last few days, but the 2 Dynamondo it actually does come up a decent amount. And we play Lina, Dark Charmer, even though we don't play anything else to go into with them. I guess the question is why, right? Like, why do we play Lina Dark Charmer? Like, what? I mean, Dark Charmer is like fine. Because you can, like, I guess Dark Charmer take IP and then use those to make SP on the opponent's turn. But Lina does seem a little bit weird because it doesn't seem like there's like that much good stuff to take. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's that much, like, crazy stuff to take. But, I mean, your deck is, like, all lights. And then, okay, on to the next deck list now. We have another voiceless voice deck list. Also playing 1-for-1 in the deck. Playing 2 Pot of Prosperity, Called By, Super Poly, Talons. Wait, this looks very similar to the last deck list. The extra deck is, like, pretty much the same, except they play 1 Dynamondo, 1 Link Kuriboh. They play 2 Ash Blossom, 2 Veiler, 2 Talons. These should definitely just be like 3 ofs, right? I think Ash Blossom's good at 3, Veiler's good at 3. You know, like I said before, Veiler's very good against like the Snake Eye stuff, being able to Veiler like Black Witch or like Snake Eye Ash or something, trying to like stop them early in their tracks, especially because like if those decks like truly set up against this deck, then it's probably just game. It's going to be very hard for you to break it. This deck can break boards, but it's going to be harder compared to like other decks like the Snake Eye Mirror Match. And then playing 2 pre-prep, playing 42. Yeah, probably should play like Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph, like I said before. Okay, so now we have a Fire King Dogmatica list. Okay, so I'm assuming that this player doesn't want to buy Bonfire, Wanted, and stuff like that because, you know, we're not playing those cards. Obviously, those cards are better to play than to not play, so I'm guessing this is just for budget reasons. Before we even do any of that, we play 2 Crossout in the main, 1 Shifter in the side. That's, the Shifter's not worth it. If you're just playing it as a Crossout target, it's really not going to come up. Like, it won't come up very often, at least, especially with only there being 2 Crossout. And then also a lot of people have just stopped playing shifter decks. But we see like Ponix, Arvata. I'm trying to think. Because like not playing the Black Witch stuff is really rough, right? Like not playing that stuff. Because I've thought of this deck before without Bonfire. But without Black Witch too, that is rough. That is rough. We're playing Schism for the Shaddoll stuff. Which is probably worth it. Let's see, how many non-engine do we play? 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Imperm. So I only play like 11 hand traps. It's probably just not even worth playing Crossout in our deck list, right? Like, I feel like this card's just bad. We should probably commit to more non-engine. Or maybe commit to, like, engine, like Pot of Prosperity. You could cut Sanctuary down the 1. Yeah, you can definitely cut Sanctuary down the 1. Games are a little bit faster now than they were, like, a month ago with the Fire King deck. Since other people were trying to go for Snake Eye stuff, mainly. So you probably cut Sanctuary down the 1. You could play 2 Island if you want to. Like, that's probably fine in this pure build, but you definitely cut this down. You're not getting rid of it off your field either with, like, a Snake Eye Ash. So, you know, we'll stay there for this. Plays Herald of Arclight. Okay, so that's why we play Sorarvis. Alright. Probably cut this too. This probably just isn't worth it. Yeah. Maybe you can side deck this card for going first. It actually is kind of cool, right? It's just rough because right now people aren't playing Subversion, but that might end up changing. People might start side decking it, and against your deck, they might side it in. So then if you Maximus, you can dump App Cologne, Herald of Arclight, search Schism, Sorarvis, and then you have Schism to summon Window and Sorarvis to protect it from a Subversion. So I'm guessing that's what the theory behind that is. So maybe you just side deck this card. Too many Skyburn. Way too many Skyburn. 3's too many. Okay, on to the next deck list now. We have a tier limit deck list with transaction rollback and the Mayakashi, so, you know, just skip turn package. Then we're also playing all these in the side deck. I'm guessing, you know, this is just like, it's kind of interesting playing all these in the side. Because I feel like there's just too many, right? What is Venom for, exactly? What is Venom for? It's not for Fire King, it's not for Voiceless. Is it for Branded? But you could also just go into Dragos to Paleo against Branded, and that's probably just better. So I'd probably just like cut Venom. Gearfried is probably something that you don't need to play. Yeah, I'll probably just go cut that. Play Earth Golem in the side if you really want to have it in the side. For like the Super Poly to have this strong, like way more strong. Doesn't play the Selene package in the extra deck. Which, I don't know, that stuff seemed kind of good. That stuff did seem kind of good. Maybe you just like cut Baron, cut Destrudo. But I know Baron like helps this combo try to go through. But the Selene package did seem kind of strong for going second to try to like wipe the board and try to go for game with like access code. Especially like right now where you have to go for game, otherwise like if your opponent's gonna have follow up, it's gonna be kind of hard for you to stop their follow up too. Doesn't play Terraforming because Droll. Plays 2 King Sarcophagus. Okay, that's fine. You know, obviously trying to get to Beatrice. Doesn't play Denier though. I don't know. Maybe Denier is worth playing in a build like this because we're really trying to Beatrice our opponent. Like if we get to Beatrice, we win. But then also I guess you could argue that like Denier's another brick in the deck, and like these are already sort of bricks anyhow, so maybe you don't want to play them. Tier's in a very rough spot right now. Tier's in a rough spot because this deck's a deck that wants to play a lot of engine, not a whole lot of non-engine, and it's gonna be, you know, rough going into like the Snake Eye decks for sure. And then next list, so we have Tier Limit, Labyrinth, Paleo with a Virgos the Destroyer. How are we fusioning? Oh, well, I guess Tier Limit. I guess you're just using this with Tier Limit. Okay. I don't even know what to say. I mean, like, the side deck's not real. We play Heartbeat, 2, Grief, Chaos Hunter. Yeah, this deck list is probably just a little bit too wild to be playable. There's like no non-engine in the main deck. It's like a lot of cards that are just gonna end up being bricks. Like, there's probably just too many Phoenix Rhino Warrior. Yeah, that's probably just way too many. I mean, that's why I played this one specifically, because it's a fiend that you can dump off of this. It's probably just not worth playing all of that stuff, though. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have too much to say about that. I'm not going to spend too much time on that deck list. It's not that great. Now we see Raid Raptor. Also, why does this look so weird? It says 306. Oh, this is the list that topped the side deck regional. Yeah, I was actually looking in the Raid Raptor last night. This is literally, hold on. Yep, this is literally card for card, main deck, extra deck of the list that top deck to side deck regional. Extra deck is like roughly the same. They do play a Napalm. I don't know if the side deck list played it, but this, I mean, you definitely want to have a time card, right? Like, you know, people are taking a little long right now with their Fire King Snake Eye decks and stuff. You know, you can always rush the opponent. Well, not rush the opponent, but, you know, tell them to play at a good pace. Even then, though, some games can last a while. So I think having like I think always having like one side deck card for time is good. You know, you might not want to play like, you know, the 3 Spooky Dogwood, the 1 time card that you can like actually get 2 off your engine, and then more. You know, you probably don't need all of that. But having at least the 1 time card that you can get off of the engine is good. But okay, I mean, yeah, I don't really have too much to say about this deck because I haven't really started testing it yet. Like, I'm actually testing the deck tonight, and it's literally gonna be pretty much this main deck. Except I'm playing the list because they said like one of the lists cut the mimicry down to 1. I'm probably gonna do that. I don't know. Like, you really want to draw non-engine. It's gonna be hard to break like Snake Eye boards with engine in this deck. It feels like. People are also going to actually start to learn what this deck does here soon. I don't think people know what this deck does yet, but I think people will start to learn more what this deck does here shortly. No Kali Yuga. I was told that's because it plays in the Cosmic. Then next one, but I don't know. Kali Yuga seems crazy. Like, I'm trying to FTK my opponents. I don't know. Like, FTK seems crazy, but I do need to test it before I truly say anything. But like, FTK just seems crazy, right? Like, Kali Yuga, boop, next game. Now we got Branded. Okay. You know, 3 Shrouded Dragon, yeah. Bestial Stuff, 1 Quem, 1 Mercurier, 1 Springen's Kit. You can probably cut Springen's Kit. I haven't actually seen like anybody go for this card at all, so like this card can just be cut. It's kind of just like an extra fat to the deck. Gimmick Puppet in the main, playing the Branded Patchwork stuff. Okay, I saw Andres Torres do that. I don't know how well that is. It also does play in the stuff like Droll and Lockbird, which we do see in the meta a decent amount. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting to see. Duplication, Thrust, Talents, that stuff's mandatory. Only playing 1 Branded in red. Doesn't play that much of this card. Plays Gold Sark, Foolish. Yeah, I don't know. You could definitely cut down on the deck number. If you cut like the Patchwork and stuff, then you can cut Springen's Kit. You can cut Gold Sark. You could probably cut Foolish, Burial. Maybe you leave that in. You could up Branded in red a little bit. Side deck, you know, just tons of going second stuff. Yeah, I mean, you don't really need that much going first stuff. Your deck's very, very good at going first. Oh, there's Ash Blossom in the main deck. This can definitely be cut. Because, like I said, a lot of people were just playing Snake Eye decks. And this card's not... Like, this isn't even, like, the most impactful card versus Snake Eye. Obviously, this is good against Rogue. Like, everything that's not Snake Eye, this card's, like, really impactful against. Against Snake Eye, it's still, like, overall, it's still a hand trap that's gonna work. But odds are your opponent's going to play through 1 hand trap, right? Like, most of the time they should be playing through 1 hand trap. And, you know, you don't play any other hand trap either, so it's really just Ash. You don't play Cross Out on the deck or anything, so maybe move this to the side, maybe put something else in the main. Maybe you could put Nib in the main. Maybe you just don't play any hand traps in the main. It also stops you from being able to get hit from Talons turn 1 completely, which is, like, kind of a nice feeling. Yeah, maybe you just cut that. I mean, you could also just, like, put this in the side, and then, like, that's it. Like, you don't have to play 50 cards. You know, it's okay to play, like, less than that, too. Then, extra deck, Mudragon Garua, 1 Grangoyle. Yeah, 1 Grangoyle is, like, a little bit tough, but it's probably fine. Yeah, it's probably, like, fine. Could cut Garua to play a 2nd Grangoyle, though. That does make it a lot easier to gimmick puppets sometimes, too, in some scenarios. And then we have a Pearly Sprite deck list. Okay, 2/2, kind of standard for this deck. Angler, Beaver, 2/2, 1/1, Ash, Veiler, 3/6. I don't know, there's like not enough non-engine. Like, just looking at it, there's only 9. And there's only 6 hand traps. So, like, odds are you're only drawing 1 hand trap. Actually, yeah, I mean, okay. Technically, right, it's like, odds are it's like it's almost a 50-50 if you draw a hand trap or not, especially in 42. So it's like almost a 50-50 if we even draw 1 hand trap. So I don't know. They're playing field spell in this deck. You don't really need to play a field spell. Yeah, I feel like this deck list just, it's not good right now. It's not the format for this deck list. I think this is a cool deck, but I don't think this is the format for this deck list. Time card, Mosquito's crazy. Yeah, I think in the future it could be good, especially, like, you know, format. I think normal Pearly is better right now for sure. In the future, maybe if we reach a format where, like, you know, people aren't ending on, like, pretty solid end boards, they're ending on, like, decent end boards, and then, you know, they're playing, like, maybe books and stuff like that, then you can have Carrot to stop that stuff, or Spellbound, you know, Carrot can stop that stuff. I don't think that deck list is very good right now. Now we have Pearly. We're playing Pearly, Shirley. No, definitely cut this card. Definitely cut this card. That card is out. 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 Not necessary. 3 Veiler, 3 Nib, 3 Bell, 3 DD Crow. Doesn't play Imperm. I know you can't draw Imperm off of New War, but I think it's still good. No Ash in the main deck. Probably would main deck Ash and Imperm. Cut the Shirley. You can cut Lillard down the 2. Okay. I think, like, you know, two traps, like, fine. It's, like, fine. D-Fissure, Shifter, Droll, Cosmic. Shifter's really awkward. You have to use this card very well against the Fire King Snake Eye deck. And then even then, it's still rough. Because you can't drop it in draw phase. Otherwise, like, a Snake Eye Ash or Bonfire punishes you because they can still set up IP Temple in the Oak or into anything that they want, really, in the Ash, whatever. Or it's probably just Ash most of the time. Or they can go for yeah, like if they have that, they can go for that. So if you drop this in draw phase and you get punished by that stuff, if you drop it in main phase, you get punished by talents. You can also wait until they go Ash, search Poplar, summon Poplar, Poplar effect, go search original, then drop Shifter. But I don't know, it's just awkward. It's just awkward, you know? It's very awkward. Like, I originally was saying at the beginning of the format that Shifter is best in Pearly, but it's just awkward overall. Because, like, if your opponent gets to SP, like, also if you wait to hold this, then your opponent could start with Summon Black, which affects that original. And now you have the Shifter there, because if you wait until, like, you know, original Chainlink 1, Shifter Chainlink 2, they still have Ash, Poplar, Temple, same thing. And if you wait, which obviously you wouldn't wait there, you would just activate it in response to original. It's just rough. It's rough. Or you'd activate it before original. If you wait in response, then obviously you're getting to Temple still. If you do it before, then they can still get the SP, which SP is still pretty good against this deck, especially when they're under Shifter. So I don't know. Awkward card. But if you know, maybe if you're not playing against the Fire King Snake Eye deck, or Snake Eye decks in general, you know, maybe this card gets more value. But that's like a majority of the meta. No SP, I'm assuming it's just because, you know, they don't own the card. Otherwise, obviously that card should be in the deck. It should be like an Anima SP if they own them. If they don't, sure, like, that's fine. Actually, I don't even know if I'd play IP Unicorn. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know if I'd play IP Unicorn. Maybe just play, like, a second Zeus and a Sky Crisis. Oh my gosh, we play the Big Happiness, too. I guess we also play this. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, yeah, the extra X definitely budget stuff. Sky Crisis, I'm pretty sure is budget. That's also like a staple card, so that's like a card that's like worth picking up for sure. And then yeah, probably just a second Zeus or something. Or if you don't want to pick that up, then maybe put in like an Anima or something. Or maybe probably Azalea. If you don't want to play any of the other stuff, then you can put Azalea in. And then now we have a Vanadium deck with Sprite cards in it. We have EMP, Meow Mine, Shifter. Okay, so we're playing like 10 non-engine cards plus some Fenrir's in the deck. No terraforming. So it's like, why play the Sprite cards, right? Oh my gosh, that deck a lot of extra deck stuff. Cupid Pitch, Ibly to get 2 off Gigantic, Spell Strider, which you can get off the Cupid Pitch. These cards in your hand, you can target 2 faceless spells on the field, 1 from each side, banish them if you do summon this card. Okay, so I guess you could banish the opponent's stuff off of this against Snake Eye matchups. That's kind of cool, or like Voiceless Voice. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'd probably cut the Sprite stuff. I at least cut the Meow Mine. If you're gonna play the Sprite stuff, it probably should just be like 1 blue, 1 jet, 1 red. And then I guess 1 double cross. Maybe try starter. And then maybe cut down on Samsara. Play more Peaceful Planet. Like play 3 of this card. You should also just probably play a Terraform and put your opponent on better have Duel, right? Because that's why you play 1 pressured planet. It's that way you can search it off terraforming. Yeah. The side deck's like all 2 ofs. Most likely that's just not correct, and you can just up it to 3 ofs of the better cards. You play 3 Imperm in the main. Probably cut Cosmic. Play Ash or Veiler. Yeah, cut Meow Mine for more non-engine cards. And I actually put out a pretty decent amount of non-engine in the deck if you really want to play the sprites. I'd also... I guess I'd side deck reframing. Because I don't think you want to play this many like trap cards in the main deck either in this format. On to the next list, we have Kashtira. I was definitely expecting to see Heat Soul. I was looking right away because I already know they don't play Zephyros. And, you know, I've said it a lot. I think the Zephyros stuff is fairly mandatory. I think it's a lot better than Heat Soul because Heat Soul does give you a draw. And then you can make Appaloosa or something, which they don't play. But I think you go for, like, Babushka, and then you have, like, IP and the SP, which is good. You still get hurt by talents a lot. I think this deck is, like... I'm not gonna lie. This deck almost feels like the buy for a Snake Eye deck, which is rough. It's definitely rough. But if you do want to play this deck, I do think you play Zephyros. Transcode, I don't know how you use Transcode in this deck. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm not sure. Because the turn you activate this, you can only special summon Cyberse monsters. It's not for, like, the rest of the turn. So, how do you even use this? Do you just go for, like, Heat Soul? Or you just go, like, G Golem, Link Spider, and make Transcode, summon back out Crystal Heart? But, like, you can't get to this without going in the Draco Sack, which means you already can't use this. So I feel like this card's just, like, kind of a blank. Yeah, kind of a blank. Harmonizer is actually decently good in this deck. Harmonizer's actually decently good. Macrocosmos doesn't play Defissure. It's probably worth just playing Defissure over Macro because you can use Defissure right away. Which means it can stop like Veiler, Droll, you know, stuff like that. So it just works faster than Macros Cosmos does. 2 Theosis. Nah. I don't think you can do that. This deck has like a low-key bricking problem. Like a low-key one. It doesn't brick too often, but yeah, probably something that you should do. And then they're also playing Prep Ogre, which I don't like. I don't know. I don't like those cards. They just don't. They don't do a whole lot. They don't do a whole lot. I mean, they're not. They're definitely not horrible. Like if you can go for it, you can like SP banish from your own graveyard too to make the prep live, stuff like that. A lot of people think you just have to be under shifter for this stuff to be live, which like isn't true. Playing Thrust Talons. I don't know if I'd play Thrust. Yeah, I don't think I'd play Thrust. 3 Ash. Oh, I definitely wouldn't play Bell either. I'd play 3 Veiler. I know it doesn't work with shifter, but like, to be fair, if they're under shifter, what are they summoning from graveyard anyways, right? Like, this just won't do anything anyhow. I know it works with Baron. If you really want something that works with Baron, I guess play Moonlit. But I'd probably just play Veiler. Probably even cut these down a little bit. And then, next list, we have Rika Sanavalon with the Oromage stuff. Plays Blend, Humid Wind. Oh, you definitely want to, you only play one of the traps for sure. You don't want to play two. You only want to play one of them, guaranteed. You can cut Rosalina down to 2. They play Therion Lily just as a blank extender. I'd probably just full commit and play the Therion package if I were to play Lily in the deck. Yeah, cutting down on the Rika stuff. We saw, I haven't posted the deck list yet on the DB Grinder stream channel, but we saw the person, the Julius, he won YCS Dormont with this deck. He actually had a take on this deck. He played it in one of my tournaments recently, and he cut down on the Rika stuff a lot. Played a very, very, very small Rika package. Wasn't even playing Con in the deck, which I thought was crazy. It's definitely like an innovative deck list, and that should be up on the DB Grinder streams channel fairly soon, so that's something that, keep your eye on out for if you want to have a good opinion on this deck. Yeah, 3 Jasmine. You can go through all 3 of this. You can get a lot of searches. This is cool. He was also playing Super Poly in his deck with Mud Dragon, which is maybe something that you could try out. Next deck list, we got Tier Limit, Danger. Okay. Plays 2 Solic in the deck. Card's kinda nice at 3. It's just like, I don't know. The thing is, this deck has like no non-engine. It's literally just Super Poly. So it's like, yeah, that's rough. 2 Kaleido Heart, definitely not. You gotta play the Link package. I don't know why people are so hesitant about playing the Link package. I feel like that stuff's nice. That stuff's definitely nice. Like, you have Celine that can summon back out Horus. And, like, you can try to, like, crack boards and go for game. I feel like you almost just, like, have to go for game in a lot of scenarios. So I feel like that stuff definitely helps out a lot. People are, like, almost always putting Darks in the graveyard now with Black Witch and, like, Link Karibo, IP. Do make sure that you don't Dark Charm or target Link Karibo if they have a level 1 on field and they're, like, not under Princess or something. And then next deck list, we have Trap Tricks. Oh, jeez. I really don't know what to say about this deck. What does this one say? When your opponent summons a monster with 15 less attack, banish it. Face down. That's kind of funny. I didn't even know this was a card, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this deck is not good. It can't go second very well. Like, sure, you have Evenly and Perm Shifter, some Talons, and your deck does have, like, some extension. But I feel like this deck just gets cooked. When it goes first, it can be pretty strong. But even then, like, I don't know. I don't think this deck's very good. I don't think this deck's good at all. If you want to play, like, a super budget deck, this is something that you can play, though. Because it's pretty much just, like, 3 structure decks and then some extra, dollar cards added into it. Besides, like, Sky Crisis, I guess. And then next, we got Diviner, Tiaras, plays 5 rituals, kind of a lot of rituals. 3 Nib, 3 Droll, 3 Imperm. I'm kind of surprised that, I don't know, Ash Blossom is definitely, I think this card's worth it in the main. I know I was talking about at one point how some people are starting to side deck this card because they don't want Heater to be able to take it. I think it's, like, fine. Veiler's also just a good card. Yeah, Veiler's also a very good card. Then extra deck. Plays 2 Dynamondo, 1 SP. Plays Underworld Goddess, 2 Link 1s, a Super Poly in the side deck. Talents in main. Yeah, you probably cut like a Ritual Monster. Maybe you cut Talents and you just play more hand traps. You could probably cut Droll to the side deck or something. Play like Veiler, Ash, stuff like that. Then next deck list, we have a Rescue Ace deck list. Got 3 Black Witch in the main deck, 3 Wanted, 3 Hydrant. Okay, so problems with this deck. First of all, okay, we're not playing Pot of Prosperity, that's good. You know, you probably just don't want to play that card. But also, it's kind of weird, because, like, I don't know how I feel about playing... Okay, we don't play Bonfire Poplar, that's something too. Okay, we got 3 Ash, 3 Droll, 3 Veiler, 3 Nib, 3 Imperm, 3 Talons. So we're playing 3, 6, 9... Wait, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 non-engine cards. I don't know. This deck's just really rough. Because you have so many awkward cards on the deck list, like Extinguish, Contain, Alert, Rescue, Headquarters, the boss monsters when you don't have access to the little ones. There's also a lot of hand traps in the format right now, so deciding to like cut down on engine is going to be rough, and people are also just always going to hand trap you early on, knowing that they can't wait, because if they wait, they get hit with Princess, which also makes like the Proxy Dragon, Mud Dragon just not real, because like, are you trying to protect Turbulence from being targeted, but like they already can't target it, because if you have SP Turbulence, if they imperm on summon, you just Princess summon it back out. If they impermanent response, you chain SP effects. So I feel like the Proxy Mud Dragon's not very good. You can play Super Poly in the deck if you want to. That's something that you can include in. 2 SP's good. If you only, if you only can afford 1, then like 1's like fine. Okay. Next list, we have Branded, playing 3 Super Poly, 3 Nib, 3 Imperm, 1 Talons, some Thrust. So really cut down on the fat of the deck. Besides, like, I guess Gimmick Puppet plays 1 Branded in red. We've seen other lists that kind of look like this, playing multiple Branded in red, especially with Desires in the deck. Desires hitting a 1 of, though, in 43. I don't know the exact math off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure Desires hitting a 1 of in a 40 card list is like a 27% chance, assuming that Desires is your first play. Something like that. It's been a little while since I've done the math. Actually, it hasn't been that long, because I did it in Pearly not too long ago. I just don't remember off the top of my head. Something like that, though. Very, very close to that number. 2 Cartesia, 1 Quem, 1 Tragedy, 2 Shrouded. I don't know. Maybe we can cut down on the non-engine a little bit. It's like our deck's engine is very strong. That's one good thing that's about it. Because right now we're playing 3 Super Poly, 3 Nib, 3 Imperm. That's 9, 12, 13. Like 13 non-engine in our 43 card Branded deck. Like maybe we could just cut down a little bit on the hand traps and then play like another copy of Branded in red, and that's probably fine. Yeah. Side deck, Cosmic, Magical Spring, Droplet, Ash Blossom, Magma, Soul Release. So decides to play Magma Mutt, even though we're not playing like Lubellion or anything in the main deck. This card's good against some of the rogue decks. And also you can Magma Mutt, you can still search like Albaz, Shrouded Dragon and stuff off of it. Magical Spring is interesting. I don't know if people are siding this in against Snake Eye, or if they're just planning on siding this in against like, like Voiceless Voice and other things. Sprints, that way you can always fuse away their Snake Eye stuff. We got... Wait, okay, there's Grand Goyle. I didn't see it for a second. I was like, wait, you have to play Grand Goyle. Obviously. Okay, on to the next deck list now. We have another Branded deck. This one's playing Dark Magician. I think that's wrong. I don't think you need to make Dragoon right now. I think, especially if you play Gimmick Puppet, I think you could, like, if you main deck this card, you could just probably try to go for this instead. Maximus with Nadu Servant, Ad Libitum. Okay, Thrust, Talons called by Super Poly 2, Branded in red. Like, if you're not playing Desires, I guess you could play one Branded in red. I think you definitely should cut Dark Magician, though. Then maybe you... I was going to say maybe cut this down to 2 because you play a good amount of normal summons. You don't play a lot of Shrouded Dragon, which also helps Cartesia be like a special summon. Adder Servant's not bad. It's not crazy, but it's not bad. Not bad. Okay, we don't play Entis or anything for it, which is fine. I mean, you know, all these, like, 1, 2. We only play 1 Mirror Jade. We play Lulu, Wylith. We play Garua, Mud Dragon, because Super Poly. Maybe we can cut down on, like, a Garua to play another Mirror Jade, because I feel like, you know, Mirror Jade's really good. Herald the Abyss for, like, Pearly, which... that deck's just not real right now. Maybe if you're playing this deck at locals and there's, like, a few Pearly players, this is fine to have. Oh gosh, we have 60 card Rikas and Avalon. There's just so much going on. 3 Veiler, 3, 12, 15, non-engine. I play Called by Cross out in our deck. We don't even play Droll. I don't know. There's like too much going on in this deck. It's just not worth it. I know this is like supposed to be plant pile, but you could probably just cut down like a lot of these cards. Like you could just cut this. You could put this down to 2. You could cut Lone Fire down to 1. You could cut Mooden down to 1. Or you could play 2. You can Petal down to 1. You cut Princess down to 2. You, could, you know, cutting down on the Rika stuff is like fine. I don't know how I feel about the Blend, Bless, Win stuff. I'm happy they're not playing 2 of the traps though, because you definitely don't want to play 2 of them if you do play this stuff. Crossout's not good in the main deck of this deck. Probably cut down on Glamour. Small World for sure gets cut, like without a doubt. You know, this card does get more value in the 60 card build because you're not seeing Loki as much, but you're not seeing Loki as much because you're playing 60. Then, well actually, I don't know, maybe this list might see it more than a 40 card list, or closer to 40 card list, because they do play 3 Lone Fire, 3 Small World. But still, it's like, you know, it's not the only thing you want. You want more than just seeing Loki. Summon Limit, Bell, Cosmic. Yeah, no Draw anywhere in the list. Plays 2 Rosemary. You only really need 1 of this. Plays SP the Little Guy. Doesn't play the Link 3 Sun Avalon. That's crazy. That's bonkers. Next list. Yeah, they didn't finish their side deck. We got 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Nib, 3 Imperm, 2 Talons. Oh, it plays the Snake Eye stuff in the deck, like the actual Snake Eye stuff, like Snake Eye Ash, Poplar, Flamebird. Doesn't play Bonfire, though, to get access to this stuff. It does play Wanted and 2 Black Witch, though. So that way you can make a more explosive board with, like, Jet Synchron into a Baron. Maybe you could also play a Savage in the deck that you can get to. It's like okay to not play Savage, but you also have like Celine that can summon this back out to help make Savage too. So I don't know, maybe you cut like an Anima and then you put that in the deck. 1 SP Little Knight probably should be 2 unless you only have 1. Bonfire is something that could be played, but also it's kind of weird, right? Because then you have to start playing a lot more cards in your deck because you really don't want to start cutting non-engine. Side deck. You probably just put in like a going first card, right? Yeah, probably put in a going first card. Maybe put in another hand trap or something. It might be worth having a time card. But Rescue Ace gameplay does go by pretty quick, so you probably don't go to time that often. As long as, you know, you keep your opponent playing at a good pace. Eldlish. Oh my gosh, they're also playing this, which can help protect Floodgates. Because, you know, this card says that you can negate the effects of all face-up cards the opponent controls up to the number of other continuous traps you control. So you can, like, in response to, like, Lightning Storm, activate, boom, stop it. I don't think that'd be worth main decking, though. Yeah, White Elixir can definitely be a 1 of. Cursed Eldling can definitely be a 3 of. I feel like Eldritch loses a lot of its value in the current format because people are playing like very fast. Like the game doesn't last very long, and Eldritch wants the game to last longer. I know you're trying to floodgate them into making the game last longer. If you really want to play Banshee, you only play one zombie world for sure. You don't play two of this. Lord of Heavenly Prison can probably just be cut. And then side deck of Gustav Max, that can be cut. It's like, why would you side that in, right? It's like, it's not going to come up. If it is, you could just put it in your extra deck now, because, like, your extra deck's already, like, fairly free. I know you play Extravagance and Punishment, but I'd probably play more Punishment targets, to be honest. I feel like this might come up more than summoning actual extra deck monsters. Pleiades is good, though. Card's definitely solid. There's a lot of rank 10s, though, in the extra deck, and, like, this on top is probably good. I'd honestly probably just play one Gustav Max. I wouldn't even side deck one. Maybe play more Punishment targets. Maybe play another rank 5 Pleiades. And cut like Shark Fortress. This card doesn't seem like that great. Actually, I don't know. Maybe Shark Fortress is worth it just because you need to go for game a little bit faster. Shark Fortress plus Eldritch the Golden Lord is indeed game. So now we have, what is this? We got Baby Rulers, Horus cards, a lot of Horus cards in the deck. We got Red Rose Dragon, Rox Rose Dragon, 6 Hand Traps, some Fenrir's in there. Dude, this deck list is wild. I saw OCG play something similar to this, but I'm pretty sure they have 3 Red Rose. Also, this is too many Horus monsters. Also, there's no way you play this many King Sarcophagus. You probably cut this down to like 2 or 1. Definitely cut at least one of the fluff. Because you play 3 bad Horus monsters. You definitely cut that down to at least 1. Maybe you cut this one because it doesn't work with any of the rulers. Because, we don't have Title. We have Redox, Tempest, Blasters. Maybe you cut this one because these ones actually work with the other ones. Then, yeah, I don't have too much to say about this deck list. Alright, next one. We have Ash, Shifter, Moonlit, Imperm, Cosmic, Talent, Called By. Doesn't play Zephyros. I sound like a broken record, but hey, that stuff's crazy, right? Like, Heat Soul wasn't a bad option 2 weeks ago, but it's not 2 weeks ago anymore. So as far as Veiler's good in the main. I don't think Cosmic's good in this deck. I think it's like okay, but it's not as good. There's also a lot more pure Snake Eye players now, and I think, especially after YCS Vegas, once more deck lists get revealed, I think pure Snake Eye is even gonna be so popular. It's gonna be insane. It wouldn't surprise me if pure Snake Eye ends up beating Fire King Snake Eye in popularity after YCS Vegas. I think we're gonna see that come into effect because that deck can end on like Savage Baron and stuff. And, like, having that on your end board is just crazy. And then, you can flip, like, Summon Limit and stuff. And, like, good luck. You can't out a Negate plus Summon Limit. And then I can summon another Negate. So you're really not outing it then. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, not too much to say about this list. I feel like I've already talked about the cast before, like, earlier in this video. Then we got Centauron, Super Heavy Samurai, 3 Ash, 3 Nib, 3 Crow, 3 Imperm. Imperm also does conflict with this stuff. So maybe you cut Imperm and just play Veiler instead. So that way it doesn't conflict with this stuff. I feel like I'd probably just cut the Super Heavy Samurai cards though. I know they help with like your turn 1 being more explosive. But like you're also instantly, once you put these cards in your deck list, you're putting 2 bricks in the deck. Like, these cards are just both bricks. Like, playing 2 bricks isn't very good. I know you can stand up discard them, but you have to think of, like, your deck's really good at going first. But what about your deck going second? How well is it actually? Fenrir's not bad in this deck. It works with stand up. Maybe you play a Pressured Planet if you play Terraforming. Maybe you just play, like, 2 Fenrir, 1 Pressured Planet. So that way your Terraforming can search for that. If you already like have stand up or something. I know it plays in the draw, but like probably worth it. Plays 2 Amethyst, which is okay. No Desires in the deck though. Then Called By, that could probably be cut. Side deck, draw, evenly, anti-spell. I don't think I'd play anti-spell. I think I'd play Judgment. Anti-spell doesn't stop Cosmic Cyclone from banishing stand-up Centurion. So like Cosmic still just like stops your Calamity's lock. Where, you know, anti-spell doesn't really help versus that. And if you get to main phase and you can Calamities, then you don't need anti-spell anymore. So it's probably just worth playing Judgment over that. Maybe put in the center on Solemn Judgment too. That card's not that great though. I'm not gonna lie, that card's not that great. But something to think about. Flame Banshee I know can help you get to Engine. You could play Pot of Prosperity. Like you can cut like these 8 cards, put like Desires in your deck. Like 3 Desires in there. Maybe put like 3 Desires, a Pressured Planet. Maybe cut 3 Crow for 3 Veiler. Maybe put another non-engine card into the deck. I don't know. If you want to play a different like a supplemental engine in the deck. I actually don't know what you'd play. This deck's not in a very good spot either right now. But, you know, just some things to think about. On to the next list now. Plays the 5 Rituals. 3 Ash, 3 Nib, 3 Veiler, 3 Imperm. Oh god, yes. Droll, Bell, Super Polycosmic, Summon Limit, 2 Dynamondo, 1 SP, plays Lina. Yeah, plays the Super Poly targets. Okay. Think, you know, once again, maybe you could cut down like 1 Ritual monster, play like another non-engine card. Yeah, I think that'd be like fine. Then we have like Ash Blossom, Imperm, Veiler, 2 Veiler, 2 Droll, 2 Talents, a Warlords. Now we are playing Unchained, which this deck is in a very rough spot. I know I've said that about a lot of these decks, but that's just because like when you compare these decks to the Snake Eye deck, the Snake Eye deck is just very, 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 very good at what it does. It can play more non-engine than this deck, and it can play a better engine than this deck. So like, you know what I mean? Like in comparison, it's just a better deck, obviously. But if you do want to play this deck, you should be playing 3 Veiler, 3 Imperm, 3 Ash. Maybe play 3 Nib. More and more people are playing Divine Temple though. So, you know, they're going to be able to play through it more, but if you draw it with another hand trap, it's good. You could cut Tour Guide Phoenix Rhino. I saw people doing that before. I don't know how well that'd be in current format right now. You could cut down on one of the trap cards. I feel like Warlords is probably just more of like a side deck card for when you go first, if you want to side this card in. Talents is probably just worth cutting in this deck. Then, looking at side deck, we see Crossout. Crossout is like fine. Because if you get the combo, you get the DDD Wave High King Caesar, and it can also protect you from Talons. But, yeah, I don't know. It's probably like okay. It's probably okay. Probably anti-spell though is probably just better, right? Yeah, probably just play anti-spell. Because it also protects you from like all the other take spells. It protects you from, you know, it also just like anti-spells their deck. Like flip a Floodgate. Pretty good. 2 Anguish. You can cut this down to 1. I think this was like better at 2 before when there was more like pure Fire King decks. 3 Yama, 2 SP, Appaloosa. Wait, it feels like there's something missing. Can't tell what it is though. But it feels like there's something missing. Oh, I can't tell what it is. Gosh, that's so annoying that I don't know what it is, but I know there's something missing. You can play Nightmare Unicorn if you want to. Yeah, I don't know why I can't find the missing card. It's something though. It's something. But Unicorn might be it. I don't know. I feel like there's something else though. Now we have a Orcust Horus deck. Only playing. Oh no, there's 3 Glory. Okay, I was like only playing 1 Glory. It's like this is like a budget build to the max. But okay, so 3 of that, 2 King Sarcophagus, 3 Astri Veiler, 3 Fenrir, 3 Fenrir. I mean 3 Imperm, 3 Talons. Probably should be playing another hand trap in the deck list. Maybe cut return down to 1. Yeah, probably cut return down to 1. Probably should be playing another hand trap on the deck list. Probably like Nib in the main. You could cut Fenrir. Or if you want to play Fenrir, you could probably still just play Nib in the main. Or if you don't want them to conflict, I don't know, if you don't like that, then you could play Duel. Shaddoll Fusion's cool with Aerial. Being able to dump like Aerial plus a Orcust monster to summon Winda. And you can like Aerial, boop, banish from their graveyard. I know you could say like, oh, you should be playing Dragon and you should be playing App Cologne, but I don't think it's worth playing 2 brick cards for 3 good cards. That just sounds horrible, right? Like that sounds like I'm drawing the bricks almost as much as I'm drawing the good cards, and the bricks are just horrible. They don't do anything. They have no effects. So I feel like if you play Shaddoll Fusion, you just play Aerial. You don't play Shaddoll Dragon. Even though it does make this card a lot better, it's not worth it. It's not worth it at that point. And then, okay, yeah, I think the deck list is like fine. It's kind of cool seeing the Buzz King in the deck for this stuff. Yeah, I think the deck list is like fine. Yeah, access code doesn't have as much value because you only play darks, so you only get 1 pop off of it. So, alright, that's going to be it for all the deck lists. That was the last one. I know this was like a 50-minute long video, and there's definitely some, more wild decks in it, kind of like this, or like the Tier Limit Paleo deck. But that was the deck doctor of the day. Well, not of the day. I'm not doing this every day or anything. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I wanted to do one of these before YCS Vegas, though. I'll probably do another one of these, like, next month. Maybe even like early next month once the YCS Vegas lists and all that are out and people can start playing and testing that stuff. But with all that being said, the DB Grinder signing off. Peace. Have a nice day. Stay safe.